So those are the two of the big initiatives that I wanted to roll out. And we did have a little bit of challenge finding an ISA company that would do call agents databases. Their specialty is responding to online leads, which is a little bit different. And you as an agent have to spend a lot more money to do that unless it's a Facebook ad. So let me know about that and just email me and I'll put you on the list. And then a couple of announcements, and I don't know, is Robert Eikenberry on? Okay, Cheryl, maybe you can touch base with Robert and see if he can be on these calls. And I know we moved them to the evening, so less people are on right now until Bold's over. However, as the tech ambassador, I think it's really good for him to be on. And we do have a tech team, maybe to be called Tech Wizards. That's what we voted for, although without Robert's vote within the company. So Latasha and Robert are really going to be your go-to people for tech related things. And we do have a new email address. Latasha, do you want to put that in the chat and tell us what that is for if they have a tech related question or they need help that's tech related? What email do they send that to now? We just created a central tech email for everybody to send to. Now, if you still communicate with Robert or Latasha separately, it's fine. We're not going to ignore you. We're just trying to make it easier to streamline that. So Tech Concierge 1002. So she just put that in the chat box. So just know we'll kind of get used to doing that. So there have been a couple of things that I heard about today, and I just wanted Robert to talk about. I'll just tell you what they are, and then he may have to share the details with you or Latasha because there's more information. What's exciting, and that I can tell you, is that they did announce that they now have video tours built into Command. So you can actually upload a video tour in Command, and you can upload a video tour that in your app, or it gets shared or duplicated in your app, or if the consumer has your app. And it's basically the way that we handle that the Command is doing this, or that the company wants to do it, is it's basically an appointment. What the benefit of this versus other companies or other virtual tours, other companies or other virtual tours you may have been doing is like a recorded video that they can watch at any time, which is fine. You can still do that. The difference of what Command is doing is they're actually allowing you to schedule a virtual tour with a consumer, like at a specific, so you have an appointment time where you either can walk through the property, which is how they have it set up, or I think, and this is a Robert question, you can just put the video on during that appointment so they can see the property. It's just a way for you to capture them in an appointment versus somebody just clicking on a video. So it's kind of like a virtual walkthrough tour opportunity. Because what Gary or what Josh Team was talking about, which was translated through whoever I was listening to, was saying is Keller Williams is always going to be looking at how to keep you in the relationship with the consumer versus take you out of it. And with the virtual world, they know that yes, you need to have the tools that support you. And they also, they'll want you to keep the relationship strong with the consumer. So they're looking at tech options that are going to allow you to interface with them more than just give them something that they can go do on their own, which can take you out of the deal and the relationship, if that makes sense. So this is one of those things, which is why it's a little bit different. And so they said you have to, the only tricky or the caveat to it, which I think we've already solved for most people in the company that have had listings, is you have to map, you have to have your listing mapped to in Command. So I know with the Big Island agents, we ended up, like I was talking to Dan about it last night, we ended up doing a lot of that for you guys when you came over because we were having challenges with linking on the MLS. And so by default, by us going through that process with you, we think we've already put you in there and mapped all your stuff. So, and once you do it as an agent once, you don't have to do it again. So you don't have to do it for every single listing. Once you have a listing that's in there and you map it, then you can upload the virtual, you can do the virtual tour link. You don't have to do it again. That's what they said anyway.
Can I jump in for that? So
yeah.
In my design class, I talked to them about making sure that they could see their MLS listings, and I walked them through how to check that and sent them the file path for that. So I can send that out to everyone as well, but we did cover that in Monday's design about
That's awesome, Latasha. So yeah, maybe you and Robert can get together and just when you send an email out with that information, give the instructions on, by the way, if you want to take advantage of the virtual tour, if you're finding that your listing isn't in there, these are the steps, and then you should be good to go. Okay. I'm going to ask you if you have any questions on that. And at the same time, I'm going to say, I don't know that I can answer them for you, although here we are. So anybody have questions about that we can find you the answer for if I don't know? Okay. A lot of this is like right hot off the presses, you guys. So this is like, new information. And so there was a great script from Gary Keller. So if you ask me a question that I didn't know, Michelle Belch just posted this in our team page on Facebook, was a script from Gary Keller today, which is kind of in alignment with this. If somebody asks, when you're going to work with a client, he says, I'm a professional. That means I know what I know and I know what I don't know, and I know the difference between the two. So when I know, I'll just tell you, and when I don't know, I'll go find the answer. This way you can always have confidence that I'm getting you the best answers possible. So that was kind of a cool script, which is in our Facebook page if you want to take a look at that later. Okay. Couple other things. Featured, okay, they talked about featured listings coming soon. That's upcoming in Command, which is where I think you can have on your website specific highlighted properties that are your listings, and you can put the pictures on so that you can have those pop up. That's coming. Oh, if you are getting the zip form renewal notice, is Sam on? Oh yeah, Sam's on. Sam, you want to talk about the zip form renewal notice and that they can ignore that?
Yeah, so you can ignore it. All you have to do is press the skip button and it'll take you past it. I should be signing the contract tomorrow, so then it'll just magically go away. Someone contacted me today that had seen that notice and said, oh, I pressed renew and it renewed, and they had actually been using the account from the previous brokerage. So if you aren't seeing that, maybe you should call me for that too.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you want to make sure you have the brokerage or the account under a broker. Yeah. It's a good note. It's a good side note. And the reason, so Sam, the reason you're seeing those pop-ups is because Sam has been negotiating, because we're cutting expenses, with Zipform they tried raising our contract price like significantly since last year. And so she was negotiating them back down to give us the original price that they gave us a year ago. Did you have luck with that yet, Sam? Do you know the answer?
I have the contract. It is what we talked about that it was last year, and
yay! So that was a savings of how much? Like how much was the difference? It was like a lot.
$1,100.
Okay.
$1,100 less.
Good job, Sam.
Thanks.
So we thank you for that. Okay. I also, thank you, Marie, I love that. So the other thing I wanted to mention, a big topic that's been coming up on a couple of the big calls that I've been on the national call and the regional call, were jumbo loans. And because we're pretty much all jumbo loans here, almost, at least for single family homes, this really affects us. And I did hear on the shift call that some other agents with other companies or on other islands were having challenges with jumbo loans, and the lenders are starting to pull those. And I don't know, Dean, if you're seeing that, you can address it. What I can tell you is, and I know a lot of your buyers are cash, what I can tell you is Keller Mortgage, they actually know that a lot of lenders are having challenges with jumbo loans. So they stepped up, and they are not only still doing them, they actually reduced the pricing for them. So another great value and reason to work with Keller Mortgage is you're going to get your client's going to get a cheaper, not only are they going to get a free loan, basically not have to pay anything potentially, most likely, and they may get a credit at closing, they also are going to get a better pricing, even if they could find it somewhere else. And a lot of lenders now are tightening up or not doing them anymore because they're riskier for them. So it's less liquidity for them, and they have more money in the deal. So Dean, have you seen that yet? I have been hearing that, or have you been hearing that in your circles?
I have been hearing it, although it hasn't proven to be a problem yet. I think a lot of the jumbo financing is going through private banking. So it's portfolio
Yeah.
financing. So even though it's, you know, the jumbo, I'm not sure that they are talking about pulling it, but if your client is truly jumbo qualifying, he probably has a relationship with the bank, and that's the go-to on those loans right now.
That is a good point. Yeah, because that is the option for them to go to. If a national lender is not doing it, I guess the good thing would be to let them know to compare, because pricing may be better, may not, and the bank likely is going to charge them to do the loan, you know, the service, at least the servicing fee, if not, you know, to pay the LO out of. So yeah, so I think it's worth a conversation. We do have a couple other. I'm going to give you a name of another loan officer that I've been working with lately and referring people to, thanks to Kaylee and Rochelle, who gave me his information. And if you have a great one, you know, let the other agents know. Or if you have a loan officer you love to work with here and they may be interested in becoming a Keller mortgage lender, then we have one on Maui, which would be super cool. We can do that too. So I'm just putting Eric Vargas's email in here. Eric Vargas is his name. He, I was working with a different lender and she got slammed and was running into challenges because she just had too many clients she was working with. And so I kind of looked for somebody else that we could work with, and he's been doing a great job so far. And I know he's done some loans for those guys on the Big Island too.
Hey, Lisa, in that regard, I have a comment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so a lot of the deals that I've been working on that are involving financing are a little bit unusual typically, and they complicated borrowers. But I've been working with a lender, a local guy, a broker, has a source of funds, and basically what they are is the equity lenders. And so basically what they do is I've gotten 2 clients loans right now, and neither of these clients had any income at all, so 0 income. And the difference is that their loan to value can't go over 50%. If you have someone that's 50% or less and has no income, you can get a loan right now. And the loans that I've been doing with these guys are 5%. It's a 5-year fixed, 30-year loan, but fixed at 5% for 5 years. And that's a pretty good deal because these are not conforming borrowers.
Yeah.
But if you have someone that has good equity in the deal, 50% or less, you know, you're pretty much guaranteed to get a loan unless they are like really bad, you know what I mean? So they can't be, you got to have decent credits and all that, but they can have no income and still get a loan with the 50% equity.
That's awesome. Can you put the name of and the contact information in there? Because, you know, and more of this is going to happen. The more creative solutions we can help our clients come up with, especially, I mean, if they don't have another option, something like that is potentially a great vehicle to be able to purchase a property. So I love that. Thank you for that. Anybody else have comments or information on that? Okay. Okay, I also wanted to make sure you guys saw the emails regarding the new, well, it's not super new, but it's newer program, the PUA program, the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance program. It was, oh, I wrote down all the information. Where is it? Now I can't find it. It was an alternative. So people that weren't able to qualify, people that weren't able to qualify for PPP or EIDL could apply for PUA, the PUA. Oh, I thought I had all my, oh, here it is. Let's see, over 40,000 applicants were denied unemployment insurance benefits so far. This was a significant number may qualify for PUA. To receive the benefits, applicants must first be denied the unemployment benefits. And then, so they have to probably apply for unemployment and then be denied, or declined, which I know several people have been that I've been in conversation with at some point or another. And so they're processing, they were starting to process applications this past weekend, and then they're gonna start general processing this coming weekend. And anybody who submitted a pre-application might require additional information. Let's see. Once applicants are denied the UI benefits, they can apply for PUA. Generally, those eligible, are self-employed, don't have sufficient work history to qualify for regular unemployment, like, you know, some independent contractors, or have exhausted their rights for regular unemployment extended benefits. And it must be pandemic related reasons. So that is on the Department of Labor. It's labor.hawaii.gov. And then I guess you can search for PUA or pandemic unemployment assistance if you know anybody that might benefit from that. Another thing, actually, I have the website link in here, although it's tough to copy it this way.
Hi,
You can
Lisa.
kind of,
Sorry,
yes.
it's Lavette. Sorry, I just have to
Yes.
step away for a little bit, and I
Okay.
heard you talking about, you know, the PUA.
Yes.
So I have some actually good news to share.
Great.
I actually applied for the PPP
Yes.
last week, and I just got approved
Yay.
for the PPP, and it took like a week.
Wow, that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
great.
it took like a week, and I just got the funds today.
Wow.
Yay!
That's awesome. Congratulations on getting that. I know that's been a challenge for some people. So I do have a question about that then. So on the PPP, how are you spending, what are you, and this is for the benefit of everybody else, if anybody applied for that, the 75% funds that have to be spent on employees, that is this through a different business, or is this actually a real estate business and that you have a hired employee that you're paying?
Well, so I talked to my accountant. So my accountant said that you basically, since you're us as independent contractors, that we are sole proprietors, that we are basically employing ourselves. So we are the employee of our whatever.
Very interesting.
LLC. Yeah. So I do have an LLC that I had started. So basically I am the employee of my LLC. So she basically said, when you get the funds, you know, just divide that by 2 or whatever. And then, cause you have to use it up within the 8 weeks. So she
Right.
said, just to pay yourself, you have to basically pay yourself that. And then you'd have to apply for loan forgiveness.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I've been involved in that too. It's pretty interesting. Same thing. I applied for the PPP and I got it as well. And it's the same thing, you know, like PPP was designed for companies that have employees to keep the employees.
Right.
But they look at us as one of those employees. So we have, as a sole proprietor, and we have a cap of $100,000. And that means that you can apply, if your income is 100,000 or more, you can apply, basically divide by 12 months for the monthly amount that you make, times by 2.5 months, which will
Right.
amount to 20,800. And if you made $100,000 or more, you should be able to get $20,800 on the PPP program as a sole proprietor, as long as you have the income or the tax return from last year to show that you made $100,000 or more as a real estate agent or the sole proprietor. And then the how they forgive the forgiving portion is that if you look at your tax returns on Schedule C, line 31, there's I think it's 31. It might be 28, but there's a line item there that shows what you spent your money on, what expenses you incurred as a sole proprietor last year, and you can pay yourselves those expenses that you paid last year. It's not just income driven, so it's not based on your income. They're not going to forgive you if you had a bunch of income. They're going to forgive you for what you spent this year based on what you spent last year and showing your tax returns. And it can be everything from mortgage. You can pay yourself, basically. You know, you have to pay yourself, and you pay the expenses that you've incurred last year under your Schedule C. And I think that's how they'll forgive 8 weeks of those payments towards those expenses, which are pretty much everything. That's a
Right.
pretty
Wow, that's really interesting.
I do also have to add that, and this was, you know, a big eye opener too. I didn't understand this. For that mortgage interest, my accountant said that mortgage interest is not on your house. It's mortgage interest on your business. Like if you have
like
an
a personal-
office or something. Yeah. So when people think, oh, I can pay my loan, my personal mortgage. No, it's not on your house, not on your personal house. It's on mortgage on an office or a business.
Yeah, you have to
Very
look-
interesting,
talk
you
to a
guys.
CPA about that too, because it is based
Yeah.
on expenses, and the mortgage part's a little tricky. But
And
also,
I mean,
yeah, you
I guess
can't-
another red flag I would have you talk to, which I've mentioned in the past in conversations, as far as sole proprietorship and corporations, is a tax attorney, because of particularly the state of Hawaii and their rules regarding corporations for real estate agents versus another state, right? So I would just talk to your tax person and talk to a tax attorney, maybe a CPA and a tax attorney, to get that perspective. That's fascinating though. I mean, it's really interesting, you guys, that
Right.
that's kind of how it works.
And it just changed. It didn't change, but what they did is they gave the money out before they actually came up with the criteria,
Right.
what portion they're going to forgive. And I think if you have to be careful, because I think it sounds to me like you actually can't get forgiven for the entire amount. You can get forgiven for 8 of the 10 weeks, so to speak. So if you spend the remaining 2 weeks, that becomes a 1% loan that's due in 2 years. Or
Right.
you spend your 8 weeks and you give the balance back and you're good. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So you have 6 months to figure out that forgiveness part, but you have to be really careful because they just released the criteria that they're going to be looking at as to which portion will be forgiven or not. And that just was released.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Go
have
ahead,
also a
Lavette.
little tip. If anybody hasn't applied for one yet and they're thinking of applying, and my accountant gave me this tip, is you need to apply to a smaller bank. Fortunately, I was banking with 2, like Bank of Hawaii and Central Pacific Bank. It's Central Pacific Bank that responded very quickly. So they were the smaller bank, obviously. So she said to do that. So if even typically you don't have to have an account with them, but she said that if you apply for a smaller bank, like maybe First Hawaiian they're a big bank,
And
but
Central
obviously not
Pacific,
Bank of Hawaii.
yeah, Central Pacific is the one. They got mine from me, and they've done a really good job for everyone. They've really gone out of their way to be the bank that has been able to deliver. So yeah.
Yeah, we did
Contact
ours
too.
through CPB also.
Yeah, I'm going to put in a contact of a really good friend who a lot of you know because he used to be an escrow, title guarantee escrow at Joel Navarro. And
Yeah.
Joel Navarro is the guy who's doing all of these. He pretty much nailed everyone on the west side, and none of the big banks. He got in before everyone else, and all of the big banks got jammed up. And Joel's able to get a whole bunch of us through. So I would
Wow, that's
suggest
awesome.
Joel. He's a really great guy, and he's kind of a real estate guy, So he's been all over us to try to get us to do this. He's the one who called and said, "You can do this," and I'm like, "No, I can't. That's ridiculous." And he said, no.
Wow.
Most realtors didn't even know they could do it. Every realtor can qualify if they made $100,000 for $20,800.
That's
80%
amazing.
which could be forgiven. I mean, it's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Lisa, I do have to go, so I'll be happy to ask any questions if you have any other questions, but I have another appointment at 4:30. So,
Okay, that's
see you
okay.
later.
Does anybody? Well, yeah, we can contact you, Lavette, if we have other
yeah,
questions
I'd be
too.
happy to help out if anybody has questions about the process.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Okay. Well, the last thing I just wanted to share was also the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, just released a new website for homeowners and renters. So again, for your clients or for you, for your information, you can go to it, which talks about financial assistance for homeowners and processes for homeowners and renters. So I'm going to also put that in the chat box, which is basically the CFPB's website. And then it's like /coronavirus/mortgage and housing assistance. So check that out as well. There's some good content and information there. A lot of people don't know where to look. And I don't think we had that website when we did our stay-at-home consumer resource packet or community resource handbook. By the way, has anybody been sharing that? That's pretty much all I have today. Has anybody, I know Marcus, you mentioned you shared it. Has anybody else been sending out that community resource handbook? Yes, to your HOA,
yeah.
Joyce. Yeah, you have too.
Yeah, I attach it to all my e-blasts.
Awesome.
So it's a link in my e-blast.
Great. Oh, that's a really good idea. Put it as the link to that little page, to that page that Dylan created. Yeah, I think it's been great. I mean, the feedback I've gotten has been really good. I actually sent a copy of it to Maui Economic Development, MEO, or Maui Economic Opportunities Business Development office, Karen Arakawa, because I am working with her on doing this workshop for the small businesses next Friday. And yeah, she loved it. She thought it was fantastic. And I mean, I told her if she wanted to use it or send it out, they could. So yeah, the more people I think we can give that to or send that to, the better. And again, it's just a great community resource. All right, anything else that you guys have? Oh, how do I reach them? Who, Anne? Who reach who, Anne?
Does she mean the handbook?
To get the copy of the handbook? Or, okay, well, you might have to type in there and tell me if you can talk. Okay, anyone else have anything they want to share? Tell me something good. Tell me what's going on with clients and properties. Again, I've been hearing some really good stories, so I want you guys to share with me any success stories, or just tell us, let's end with something good. What you got? What you got?
I have a non-real estate great thing.
Love it.
Okay, cool. So like today is like a really big day in my life because it's the day that I'm retiring from being on the board of Maui Prep. So I was one of the original founding members in 15 years ago. I've been on the board for 14 years and president of the board for the last 8 years. And with a $50,000 donation that my wife and I are making, will bring my total donations to the school up to $500,000. And so it's been a massive undertaking and just a major proud day for me to be able to walk away and see the school thriving. And started with nothing. Right? So that's
wow, that's so cool.
Pretty amazing.
Congratulations.
And now I'll be able to take on real estate full time. It's going to be awesome.
Because you were just doing part-time before. Just doing part-time at 40 million.
Yeah, no, it's a big day and school's doing really well, and it's taken a lot of time and effort and 14 years of hard work to create a school that's survive. I don't recommend starting a school to any that are thinking about it. It's insanity. But, it's just an amazing thing, and it just feels really good and great day for me.
That's wonderful. Congratulations. I know you put so much time and energy and effort and heart into that. So it's helped it to thrive a lot under your leadership. So congratulations. That's great. And I saw Troy do, I don't know if it was his first one, a virtual open house the other day on video, which was so cool. I was like, look at him go.
I know, so
like a mini dean.
You'll see a co-branding marketing campaign coming out.
Cool. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's like a cross, like the pond kind of a thing.
Maui connection thing. And
that's great.
To leverage into his market and to, we're both alumni of University of Oregon, so we're going to target that database and get him out there a little bit.
That's awesome. I love it. What else, you guys? Somebody else, one more. Tell us something good. Who's got one?
I do. I have one.
Yay.
It's kind of a PSA for my clients too. They are artisans. They're well known on the island. They are still looking for a spot. So I'm still searching for a different location for them. And they have a new order of beautiful, beautiful artisanal rugs that are coming in. And I think all of the resorts need to have them. So if you have any connections with the resorts, let us know. But we're going to get them in his spot soon. And
so remind us what they're looking for.
They are looking for a warehouse type space, high cube, maybe 1,500 to 2,000 square feet, something that we can modify so that they can also teach lessons in, as well as store the carpets and teach art.
Let's talk offline. I might know something.
What's the budget?
Yeah.
What's the budget?
It depends on the space. I'd have to talk directly with you.
All right.
Thanks.
Cool. So lastly, I want to make sure you guys know that Liza Rivera has put together, one of our agents has put together for Red Day on Thursday, a food drive for the Maui Food Bank, even though of course we have delivered all the masks. for the healthcare workers, which we have some pictures Dylan's compiling. So he's going to create a really cool little kind of video collage to put out on Thursday. And then also Liza herself will be in front of our Kihei office building on the road there from 10 a.m. to noon. And then I also think she's not on, and I think Michelle said she's going to be stationed in the Kahului office from 10 to noon. And then Nancy Montoya, I think, is going to be stationed at Whalers Village, I believe, from 10 to noon on Thursday. So if you have, again, the list, it was posted on Facebook and our group, canned food, dry goods, all of that stuff, just bring it and donate it during that food drive.
Lisa,
Because they really could use the donations. Yes, Latasha.
there is a box or a container that was dropped off by Liza's husband at the Kahului office, so people don't have to wait till Thursday. They can
Okay.
drop it off anytime for the Kahului office.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you for that. All right, you guys, have a great evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the great info. Okay, bye.
Thanks, Lisa.